All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Sean Patel. I'm the founder of 2400 Expert. And in this video, I'm going to discuss our Connecticut and USAT prep courses that we just launched in Darien, Connecticut. So to start off, I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. Back when I was in high school in Las Vegas, I was just an average student. I scored around average on my first practice SAT. Didn't have a clue about how to prepare for this test. But through hundreds of hours of self-preparation, I was able to raise my score to a perfect SAT, which is about only something that only about 0.02% of all students do. That score changed my life completely. I got into prestigious universities. I received $250,000 in scholarships. I even got to meet the President of the United States. Because of my experience of raising my own SAT score, I went on to write some #1 best-selling SAT and ACT books, as well as started this company, 2400 Expert, to help students prepare for the SAT the way that I did when I was in high school. And we've had a lot of success. Thousands of our students have been admitted into prestigious universities such as Ivy League colleges, Harvard, Stanford, Yale. They've won millions in college scholarships, and some have even gotten perfect SAT scores themselves. So I've been really blessed in terms of the success we've had at 2400 Expert. And so now we're actually launching courses in Connecticut for the first time ever, and we're really, really excited about that. So I'll start off by answering probably the most frequently asked question that we get from parents at 2400 Expert, which is, when should my child start studying for the SAT? And the answer to this question is really as soon as possible. Most students will wait until spring of their junior year or fall of their senior year to start studying for the SAT. The problem with that is that those two times are very busy in high school, right? If you think about it, spring of your junior year is full of AP exams and finals. Fall of your senior year is full of college applications. So trying to squeeze in SAT prep during those times is very hard. You often don't dedicate enough time towards the SAT. You don't get enough high enough score. You don't get the scores you need for the colleges you want to go to. And so that's an unfortunate situation. The other thing is you really miss the PSAT, right? The PSAT is October of your junior year. And so if you wait until spring of your junior year to study for the SAT, which could have just prepared you for the PSAT, you sort of missed doing well on the PSAT. And I'll talk about why doing well on the PSAT is important later. Um, Not to say that you can't start studying spring of your junior year or you can't start studying fall of your senior year. I've seen many students do it successfully, but if I had to recommend something, I would say start as soon as possible. What I've noticed is students that start their freshman or sophomore year in high school typically end up getting the highest SAT scores, going to the Ivy League colleges, winning the most scholarships. I personally started as a sophomore studying for the SAT when I was in high school. In addition, a lot of the strategies, so we teach 100 strategies in the course, many of them are applicable to your high school math and English classes. So your student will do better in their high school classes as well because of the course. So it's better to get started early. Um, so our location in Connecticut is in Darien, Connecticut. It's a beautiful office building, just steps from the Darien train station. So it's really easy to get there on the Metro North, wherever you are in Connecticut. In addition, our instructor is awesome, Alexandra Miller. She's an absolute rock star, scored in the 99th percentile herself. Um, I did say that I would go back to talking about the PSAT. The reason for that is for the younger students out there, I think the PSAT is really important. Most parents and students don't realize the importance of the PSAT. The PSAT is the one and only test that can qualify you for national merit if you score high enough. So national merit is not only an awesome accolade to have on your college application, but it's also a $2,500 scholarship to college. And also, the most significant part of being national merit is there's around 100 universities across the nation that will give you a half tuition or full tuition scholarship just because you're a national merit scholar. And so, for example, Boston University will give students a half tuition scholarship just because they're national merit. So that's $80,000 for scoring high on this one PSAT test, October of your junior year. How high do you need to score? Well, it really depends on how well students in your state score on the PSAT for that particular year. So the cutoff changes based on your state and which year. But typically, if each state has around the same cutoff every year. Now the PSAT is going to a new format. It's going to be at a 1520 rather than 240 points. And so the cutoff for Connecticut, I estimate will be about 1,400 points. So if you're scoring around 1,400 on the new PSAT, you can expect to qualify for national merit in Connecticut. There's no reason to study for the PSAT separately from the SAT. What I tell students is just study for the SAT and you'll be over prepared for the PSAT because the PSAT is really just an easier version of the SAT. Now, another thing I want to talk about that most people don't realize with respect to SAT scores is scholarships, right? So everyone knows a high SAT score will get you in a good college, but not everyone realizes that a high SAT score will pay for college through scholarships. And when I was in high school, I applied for 100 scholarships. I won 20 of them. They amounted to about $250,000. And what I realized out of the 20 I won was that 19 of them were local scholarships offered to students in my state and city. Now, the reason for that was because national scholarships are open to everyone, right? And so it's much harder to win those. And I had a pretty good resume, right? I had a perfect SAT score. I was valedictorian, had a lot of extracurriculars, and I still couldn't win national merit or national scholarships. I did get national merit. So what I recommend to students is don't waste your time with national scholarships like I did, doing all those applications. Instead, focus on the scholarships that are open to your city and state. And so for Connecticut students, one really good resource I found was the Connecticut Community Foundation. They offer millions of dollars in college scholarships from donors in Connecticut looking to give scholarships to students in Connecticut. And so definitely take advantage of this, apply to as many scholarships that you qualify for through the Connecticut Community Foundation, and then look for other local state and city scholarships as well. Finally, why should you take our SAT course in January and February? Those are the ones that are coming up. The reason for that is because I'm encouraging everyone to take the March 2016 SAT. So the March 2016 SAT is going to be the first administration of the new version of the SAT. And I believe that students that are prepared for this test will really benefit from the curve of the test. What I mean by this is that most students are not going to be ready for the new version of the SAT, so they're not going to score very well. However, the few students that are ready for it, because you took our January and February 6-week SAT prep course to get ready for it, will highly benefit from the curve of the test. This actually happened back when I was in high school, when the SAT went from the 1600 format to the 2400 version of the format. The students that took that first 2400 version of the SAT scored exceptionally well. I remember students getting 2400, 2390, 2380, 2320, all at my high school, because those were the few students that were ready for that new version of the SAT, whereas everyone else wasn't, right? And so the same thing can happen for you if you take that first administration in March 2016. In addition, January and February is just a really good time in high school to study, especially if you compare that to May or June. So most students are going to take the SAT in May or June. Most of your friends probably will. The problem with that is they've got AP exams and finals, and they're not going to study a lot for the SAT. And so, this is a perfect time to knock out your SAT in March, knock out your AP exams in May, knock out your finals in June, and do everything in a staggered process so that you can focus on college applications if you're becoming a senior, or just get your standardized testing done if you're becoming a junior, right? And getting ready for that new PSAT coming out if you're a sophomore becoming a junior. So anyway, I hope to see you guys in our Connecticut SAT classes soon, and hopefully this was informational.